Get out of your way.
Alrighty.
You're not in our way.
Okay, now, what's he gonna see? What's gonna pick up?
I can see what's in your hand. Yeah.
Oh, okay,
Okay.
okay.
And she has some questions for you too. so-
Yeah.
Yeah, now this is way back. This is my dad when he was about 16. And then that's my grandfather. I have no idea how old he was at that time. And this is a store. It was called well, they called it a people's store because they had a little bit of everything. Mainly it was groceries and stuff, but they had one section that was all, if you like to sew, it had all the materials you needed for that. And I like to go down on Saturday because Saturday night was the night that all the people from Holland who had migrated to there came out on Saturday night to do their shopping. They traded their butter for whatever, other things. And over where they had all the goodies to sew with, one of my aunts was in charge of that department.
What year was that? Around what time?
Well, I'd have been about 3 or 4. I was very young, and I was born in 26, so about 30. And I like to go because I could get underneath there and listen, and all of them spoke Dutch. So I didn't have any idea what they were saying, but it sounded good, This is another view of my grandfather. I'm working for the same place. And that's my grandmother and that grandfather. And that's my dad. And then they had an outfit they called the Odd Fellows.
Oh.
It probably was too. But that's my dad there. And it was something like a Masonic or something like that. And they had parades every year. And they'd be one of the groups that were in the parades. That would have been, probably about 26, 27. That's me.
Oh. 1930.
Yeah, 1930, I would have been 4. And that's my brother and I. He was 5 years older than me. And this is the Lathrop clan, which was my mother's family. And they're about all there. There's only, I got a letter just the other day from the one we called Buster. He was my age, well, about a year younger. And there's only 4 of us left. Okay, this is one of my little cousins, Margie,
Oh.
and that's me. I hate this one. That's when I was a Girl Scout.
Oh.
It was horrible. And this, I apparently sent to a boyfriend, but I don't know which one. It says love forever. Yeah.
I don't know which one.
I don't know.
I'm worried sick.
That was about the time I graduated from high school too. My mother and dad were divorced, and my mother married this guy. His name is John.
Really?
And this is a picture of me and John and me and my mother. My mother. This was after my brother went in the service, and we had a picture taken because we didn't know if he'd come back, at that time, and so we had a nice picture taken. That's one of the best pictures of my mother I've ever seen.
I have some questions about World War II. That's okay.
Okay.
Okay. Number 1 is, what was your life like during World War II?
There are a lot of things we couldn't do anymore. Like if you needed gasoline for your car, you had to go on a certain day. Everybody had certain days that they could go and get gasoline, and you couldn't. So you wanted to be sure you got it on that day, because if not, you waited a while. And I still remember one of my uncles was driving, and he realized that he needed gas, so he had a friend They opened the garage door, we snuck in. Seems a little silly now, you know, but that's what we had to do. And we had, all of us had little booklets, and that you could get, well, and shoes, but then if you got that pair of shoes, you had to wait for the time that it came around again, and all that, you know, just about everything you could, and they called it rationing.
Oh, okay.
And it was, well, you know, you adjusted to it after a while, but it seemed so strange at first that you couldn't just go out and buy a pair of shoes. This was the high school, and I'm in there somewhere, but I can't find it.
No.
I know I played saxophone. See, you can see the music back there. And this was, it was a horrible picture, but yeah, terrible.
No.
Yeah, and for some reason I had that, and it was aligned with the names of my friends in there. Pretty good sized class for a small town.
Yeah.
This is my first husband, his grandfather.
Oh.
And in 1942, and he went in the service. All the boys went in the service. And here's another picture of him. And that's a friend of his. And this is also him, and then this is a friend of his in the service. They were Oceanside.
Oh.
And that's me, and that's me.
I have 3 more questions.
Yeah.
What age did you start working?
Well, I went from high school right into nurses training.
Okay.
And the nurses training was 3 years, so it would be after that that
Oh,
I
okay.
started actually working, although we worked pretty hard while we were taking training. Here's some of the early years when I married him. And I don't know what that's supposed to be, but and that's a friend of ours. Most of the ones that I point out and say they're a friend of mine are all gone. I'm just hanging in there.
Oh.
I don't know where everybody went, but they're not there. And this was me with Peggy.
Aww.
I'm my first baby. First child. And this is me with her again. And here we are with the 2 girls. That's Peg, and this is Barbara.
Aww.
And that's all we had for a while. There was 9 years between them and the next group.
You can cut it things and
Let's
splice
see.
and Cindy, why don't you ask about like family members? You said your brother, was he did he have to go into World War II?
Oh yeah, he went in.
And then if Sydney could like ask that question and it goes, and then Charles was in World War II also?
Yeah.
Okay. So Sydney kind of worried about like during World War II, did you have
Oh yeah.
family members or loved ones and how did that affect you?
All the people I graduated with, the guys all went. We lost 2 of them out of the war. That's all.
I'm gonna have her ask you that so it'll come on the computer and
Okay.
or on the okay.
So, did you have any family members or siblings in World War II?
Yeah. My brother went in. He went in, well, just a lowly went in. and he came out after the war was over, did not like it, went back in, and when he died, he was a major. So, do you remember Uncle Bob? I think he was still around, but not too much. That's my mother and me.
Oh.
This is all just family. The girls, it says. What else do you need?
How was your family affected after the war?
Well, like I said, my brother went in, went back in and stayed in it for the rest of his life. So that was something. Before that, he hadn't thought about doing that, but he liked the army,
That's good.
so he went in.
Did you have kids when Charles went? Or
What?
you were married to Charles when he went to war?
No,
You were okay. That was
no,
before you
that
guys
was
got
before.
married. Yeah, because you were pretty young.
Yeah, he went in when he was 17, because they weren't supposed to take him before that unless their parents signed something. And my mother-in-law, well, she wasn't my mother-in-law then, but his mother had a fit. And she said, no, 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 not until you have to go. So my father-in-law took him up and registered him.
Did you notice how, I always hear about how the women had to go into factories and work to support because the guys were gone?
Yeah, a lot of the girls, that's what, who had originally thought they wanted to do something else, go to college, go to, just went on in to work. I didn't because I didn't have any time between the time I graduated. There was about 2 months. I was in nursing training, so I didn't have time to do that.
So things are way different for females now than they were.
Well, that was the first that, when that started, that the men were gone and the women took over, and they did jobs that before that they thought they couldn't do.
Yeah.
People thought they couldn't do. And they had names like Rosie the Riveter and some of that. But they did really well. And this is
And I heard they
4 of them.
And I heard they did better. Like some of them were better at the jobs than the men.
Well, some of them because like when they were doing airplanes and there was parts that they needed to get into that were very small,
Mhm.
then the younger girls that were slim could get in
Yeah.
there that boys couldn't have done.
Yeah.
So yeah, we were pretty good there.
And I recognize.
Oh yeah, that's your grandmother. And there's Barbara. Chuck. And Kathy's up here somewhere. There's Kathy. You'd have more questions than this is more our family, so if you have any questions more.
What would be a good question about
Like, the difference between the 40s and the 50s, how the mood was, and things like that. Or what was your favorite decade in the 1900s and why, and things like that?
Well, it was different being somebody, it was different in lots of ways when the war came. Because there were things we could no longer do, and there were things we could do that we couldn't do before, and like that. And you sort of got into it, and it just seemed different because a lot of the women never went back to just being housewives. And so there was a whole change in that attitude. Because, well, gosh, a lot of the guys didn't come back, so they had places for them to work. And they did a good job of it. Better than anybody ever thought they could, so. And including the women.
Yeah.
Up until then, women got married and stayed at home and raised kids.
Mhm.
That was pretty standard. Music changed. It got a little hot and heavy. And so that was different, but we sort of fit into it gradually.
Yeah. So, pop culture, is it kind of like it is now, but in a different way?
Yeah, it was, like I said, it was kind of rock and roll sort of thing.
Yeah.
And in which we hadn't really gotten into that kind of dancing. There were some places like in New York City and all that they drank and they danced these wild dances and stuff, but that wasn't particularly all the way around the place.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't call it rock and roll back then.
No, they didn't. They didn't call it rock and roll, but that's what it was. And of course, movies changed because in 1939, that was the first time they had color. And that was Wizard of Oz.
Oh.
Of course, everybody had to go to that because
Yeah.
that was so different, they had color. And of course, they never went back after they started
Yeah.
doing that. What, trying to think what else.
Cindy, ask her, so it's on that,
Oh.
who her favorite actor or celebrity was when she was a teenager. But you ask her, so it's not my voice.
Cary Grant.
Okay.
So you want me to ask
Yeah,
you?
ask her.
Who was your favorite celebrity actor and singer?
Cary Grant.
Cary Grant.
He stayed my favorite all the way through.
Did you think he was really cute?
Hmm?
Did you think he was really cute?
Yes, he was. Real
Yeah.
cute. All the girls thought he was real cute.
Oh.
He was from England
Oh.
and came over here to make movies and never went back to England, so we kept him here.
Did you wish you could ever meet him?
Oh, yes, I would have liked to. I almost met Frank Sinatra one time.
Really?
I was in New York City and staying with one of my friends who was living there. She was my best friend in high school and way back, and way on. And so she was down there, and so I went in to be with her for a couple of days. We were walking down the street, just walking, looking in the windows and stuff like that. And all of a sudden, around a corner came this big crowd of people. And we had to turn and go the other way because they would have run over us. They were just pushing there. And so then we came, so we were right in the front of the group, came around a corner, and here was Frank Sinatra getting out the back door of the place where he'd been. So we were disgusted because we liked Bing Crosby better. You got something more here?
Yeah.
Ben, you got anything?
That should give you ideas of questions to
Yeah.
ask. So.
Did you ever meet any like huge movie stars that you admired?
No,
No,
no.
but you got really close to Frank Sinatra.
We all went to the movies a lot. That was a big thing to do. We all went to the movies. So you felt like you'd gotten to know them. But,
Was that your favorite thing to do?
yeah, yeah. There wasn't too much else. I lived in a very small town.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't have a bowling alley, or we didn't have an ice skating rink, or, you know, we had outdoor stuff, but nothing else. So to go to the movies was mainly our big thing to do.
Yeah.
And what town was it that you grew up in?
Hmm?
What town was it that you grew up in?
Cindy asked her where she grew up and what.
Oh, what?
Yeah.
Yeah, Charlottesville, New York. And it's very small, 1,300 people. So by the time you were halfway through school, you knew just about everybody in town. And they knew you. And if you did something that there wasn't supposed to be done or something, your parents would be notified.
Oh.
It was that kind of town. But it kept it clean.
Yeah. It could be a good thing and a bad
Yeah,
thing.
good. We thought it was a bad thing at the time. Looking back, I realized it was a good thing. What else down here?
Other than the movies, what else did you like to do?
Ice skate.
Ice skate?
Hmm. We didn't have any rinks we could go to, but there were places where the stone quarry, and they had dug all the stones out in this one area, and then it would fill up, and it came just as nice and smooth as if you were in an indoor rink, place that, you know, just, so a lot of us did ice skating. They thought that was a big thing.
Cindy, ask her what dating was like back then. Like, what were the rules with that?
Yeah. What's the rules?
One of
for
the
dating?
rules was you did not go out with a boy that your parents did not know. And so that of course entitled a lot of people to sneak around and go, but mostly you had to say, because if they didn't know before, somebody told them.
Oh, because it was such a small town?
Yeah, such a small town, and they all kept us straight. And so, yeah, you always were dating big guys you knew, because there wasn't anybody else around that close. Occasionally, some guy would drift through town for a while, but usually it was just somebody you'd grown up with.
So would you just do like dinner and a movie, and then have to be home really early? Were things a lot stricter?
You had to be home at a certain time, depending on your family, yeah. And dancing, we did a lot of dancing. And actually some of us, well, the guy that I was dating for a while, one of the guys that I dated for a while was a very good dancer, so we had a lot of fun. And we would do the jitterbugging and stuff.
Really?
Yeah. I wish I could still do it, but I can't. But it was fun, yeah.
What would happen if your parents did not like the guy you were dating? Would you get in very big trouble?
Well, they'd tell me I couldn't see him anymore. I only remember that happening once. And they didn't know him, and so they said until they could find out more about him, I was not to see him. Yeah, they were strict in those days. But it helps. Girls didn't seem to get in trouble very much.
Now it's very different. Not for me, but you know.
Sydney asked what the most stressful decade was, the hardest time for her personally, as far as, historically things going on in the world.
Well, it was probably right from high school and the nurses training. It was when everything was at its peak. And it wasn't until I was almost through training that the war ended.
Okay.
So
But like Vietnam, all that.
Oh, no, that was later. I'm talking
Right.
about World War II. Yeah.
Right.
Vietnam was not as tense, although I had a nephew that was in Vietnam.
I think that's it.
Do you think you got?
Yeah, I think
You
I
have
got
enough information?
Okay.
Can't think of any more questions?
I'd like to know how you met Grandpa Chuck.
Grandpa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we lived on the same street in different towns.
How was that?
The road came through his town and then up and then through my town. So we were on the same street, but he went to one school and I went to another. And one time we were having what they called a hop, it was a dancing, and some of the guys from his town came over. And I was standing there watching somebody, and he said, his voice came over and said, "May I have this dance?" And that was it.
Oh.
We did dance, and we went together pretty much from then on.
Well, I know you wouldn't remember, but do you remember stories like from your mom and stuff, how the Great Depression affected your family?
Yeah, there again, they both my mother and dad came from families that weren't really rich. And so they were kind of accustomed to doing without some things and like that. I remember one time my dad felt really bad because my mother had worn the same coat for 5 years. And they couldn't afford, we kids were growing up and we needed the things because we kept growing out of them. And he just felt really bad about that, to think that they couldn't afford her to have a better coat, or a newer coat anyway. And all of the women learned how to make meals with what they could get a hold of. It was pretty tough for a while. But I don't recall that we ever went hungry. And my mother made most of my clothes. And so we made out. We didn't know we were poor. Nobody told us. So we did really well. You got any more questions?
I think Sydney and Ben can put it in the beginning, but she needs to introduce you, and then she needs to
Okay.
Well, I am with my great-grandma, Grandma Ruth, and I'm going to be interviewing her today about her life back in the 20th century and everything involving that.
Okay, and
Ready?
then you have to do the conclusion thing. Oh, I'd like to. Can we hold the picture up for the very first when she
Which
was
one?
The first
the
one she
very,
showed
that's the only one I've seen, but I'm really eager to get my hands on that album.
When she graduated from high school.
Yeah,
that's what
that
she
one. If you could hold that one up.
Which one?
The very
I think it was the very
first
first one.
Oh. This one?
And I don't know if there's a glare on the.
Mm-hmm.
And if you could say, this was me when I was,
17.
okay.
Okay, yeah, just face it towards the camera if you could.
Okay.
Help Sydney hold it up for her next to her.
Turn, turn.
Yeah, don't hit Graham in the face.
There you go.
Okay, now.
Okay.
So you can say this is me.
Is that a glare? Is it clear my way?
No, that's good. That's good here.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, that's the picture I'd like to have of me. Yeah,
That's a good
17.
picture. Okay, so thank Grandma, and then, you know, however you want to conclude it.
You're
Well,
welcome.
thank you so
You sure you
much.
don't have any more questions?
I'm sure, but I think that's enough. But that was very interesting, so thank you.
It was an interesting period
Yeah.
of time.
Tell them about your transportation.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Well, none of us had cars that we could get around in.
But you did get around, huh?
And so we rode bikes. It was everybody had a bike, and so we rode bikes. That was mainly our transportation. If we needed to go somewhere, it was 7 miles from our town up to the lake, a big lake, and so we would ride our bicycles up there to the lake and swim, and then we'd have food with us, and we'd eat, and then we'd go over. There was a little small amusement park with a little one of that kind,
Roller
and
coaster.
yeah, and some other things that weren't very big,
It sounds perfect.
but it was fun. And then after all that exercise, and there was a place we would go and dance for a while, and so then we'd get on our bikes and come home again. I'm thinking about it now. I'm worn out.
It's a long day.
Well, that's the only reason that the kids these days, they just eat and play video games and gain weight. I mean, they didn't have all that
Oh, we
fantastic
didn't have anything in
fun.
the house. We had a record player
That you
in some of the
dance
places.
with.
In some of the
Yeah.
places they had so they could have dances, and then we had the radio in our homes. Everybody had a radio pretty much, and that was about it.
Would you listen to your stories on the radio?
Yeah, we listened to a lot of good stories. I mean, we thought they were good.
Yeah, my grandmother, when Guiding Light came on the air, she listened to
Oh,
it.
I watched Guiding Light for years until it went off.
Right. And
For
she
years
passed
and
it
years.
down to my mom, and then I watched it for a little
Yeah.
while.
Yeah.
But I always thought it was so neat that it started on the radio.
Yeah, it did. But, yeah, we had a lot of entertainment, but we had to make it ourselves.
I wish things weren't so easy.
Yeah.
Like the phones, they'll sit and stare
Yeah.
at a phone all day long, and I'm like, please enjoy the world. It's
Yeah.
passing you by.
See, we didn't have anything like that.
Well, you used to have a phone.
Huh?
Tell them about the phone. that
Oh,
you-
yeah, I could tell you about the phone. Well, most everybody had a phone, but it was party lines pretty much. And so if you wanted to call somebody, you had to pick up and make sure that nobody was on the line. And if you wanted someone to really wanted to get to somebody, and you kept picking it up and trying to see if they were off yet, finally there would be a to do about it, and somebody would have to shut up for a while. But
But it'd be like the whole neighborhood on the phone.
there would be anywhere from about 4 to 6 people on the line, depending on where you lived.
And then people could listen in on your conversations,
They
couldn't they?
sure
Oh,
did. That
yes,
was
they
the way
did.
Got their information.
That was some of the older women that lived out in the farms and didn't have anything amusing to do. They would listen on the phone.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was a way to get information around.
I
They
guess.
didn't mean it to, but it
Gossip.
was.
Yeah, and also with phones too. If you were in a small town, we're in Shortsville where I live. The phoning area was in a bank, and the bank had a big window in the front, so everybody could look in and see the person who was doing the phoning, helping with the phoning.
Right.
And I remember my mother one time, she wanted to talk to a friend of hers, and Tish, they called the friend. Anyway, so she went to pick up and call, and the operator who was in the bank said, well, he said, she isn't home now, I just saw her go into the grocery store. Nobody thought a thing about it, okay.
What a great story.
See, there were some things that are pretty neat.
Yeah, some things they were.
I think it sounds fabulous.
Yeah.
It was a laid back time.
I
Before
wish
the war
for that.
started, it was.
Yeah.
That kind of picked things, speed up, but,
Now no one has time for anything.
or you had lots of time.
And,
Lots of time. We all had dogs and cats, and pretty much, and, you know,
And you could walk all over town
still-
without worrying about somebody?
yes, actually, I had a friend, the one, I think she died because we were keeping up with each other right along, and all of a sudden I didn't hear from her. And I tried to find out if anybody knew, but they didn't, so I really think she died.
what's
But
her name? We can look.
Beverly, what was her last name? Stoddard.
Beverly Stoddard.
We got it on video.
Wanted you to tell me
Oh.
about being able to walk all over town,
Oh, yeah.
day or night.
That's how I got to her. Sometimes I'd be over to her house, and it would be come evening, and my mother expected me back home, and so I would walk to it. We walked everywhere if we didn't have a bicycle on our hand, and so I would walk, and I had to walk through a graveyard. It was a shortcut to get. I never thought a thing about it, and neither did anybody else. You know, I wasn't
didn't
going to be
sneak
attacked
you?
by anybody, and nothing was going to happen to me.
Right.
It didn't.
So you've
You-
never seen a ghost or anything?
Huh?
You've never seen a ghost?
No, never saw a ghost.
Good one.
It's awesome. You're
Thank
awesome.
you.
Well, I hope that helped.
I'm gonna look at your pictures.
No, I think it's fascinating,
You need
like, back in that time, we could walk all over the place,
Yeah.
day or night, and
Yeah.
nobody ever felt out of
Nobody was
place.
ever going to hurt you.
Yeah. It's not like
You
that.
need to frame. We
No,
need to
you
get this
just
one framed for
literally
you.
Where what, sorry.
Look at that picture
This is so
framed.
awful.
Oh, so this is your grandmother and grandfather? Here,
Yes.
Let me come over there and give you so you can get it. Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
We're going to move you right off, I think.
It's-
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really good picture.
You know, all right, look at that picture. Look at him.
No.
People
I
have
know.
asked me if that
Yes.
was his dad.
Tell them,
I think that's why I married him. I like my grandfather.
Oh. Show me.
They were both from Holland.
Mm-hmm. Now, what side of the family is that? Is that your
My
mom?
dad's.
Your dad's.
Mhm.
Okay.
Thank you.
And that's
Oh.
my dad, and that's my dad, you know. He was 16 then, working in the store.
The quality of these pictures is amazing. Look at this.
Yeah.
That's really cool. Can you see the
Yeah.
grocery store over there?
That kind of looks like Wendy.
Hmm?
That kind of looks
No.
like Wendy. Yeah.
Oh.
No, it doesn't. No. So he was in a play here.
No, that was a a lodge.
Gotcha.
Like
Oh, okay. A men's only.
Now this is my mother's
Oh,
family.
look how cute you are.
They're pretty much all there.
You see?
And like I said, there's 4 of us left.
Oh, that's really good.
Yeah. He was 5 years older than me.
And this is you and
That's me, and that's one of my niece, no, not niece.
Cousins.
You know,
okay. And that's your brother,
that's
right?
my brother.
Is that his wife?
No, that's me.
Oh, I should have known that.
Which wife? You had 6?
Oh, did he have 6 wives?
Mhm.
Really? How many kids did he have?
7.
This is a school picture of you?
Yeah, I'm in there. That's a horrible picture.
No, it's not. You should shoot. I'll show you some of mine.
This is Chuck when I first knew him. Gone in the service.
Handsome. Look how handsome. And there he
And
is.
he was in the Marines.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's a good picture.
Yeah.
I like that. That's 2. Real cute. I see a little bit of Kathy.
Yeah. A little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I do look a lot like my mother, and so there's a little bit of Barbara in there. Barbara, if she happens to turn her head just right, she's a dead ringer of my mother.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Found that in a picture one day and we couldn't believe it.
Oh, these are good.
That's Bob with his first wife.
Okay.
She was a friend of mine. She still is.
Okay.
We still communicate. I liked her the best of all of them.
And these are your
That's
friends?
my girlfriend, yeah.
Okay.
Beverly.
Stoddard. Was that her last name, Stoddard? Oh, did you have a reunion?
Mm-hmm. Well, have you met Patty?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's Patty
yeah.
and me. And then these are all nurses.
We like
Years
Patty.
to 1999.
Okay. Okay. Oh. Look how sweet. The swim
That must have
trunks
been
have changed quite a bit. Did you see it, Shelby? Look.
No, yeah.
What did you say? There's Barbara where?
I said that I'm trying to think which one it was. It was Barbara.
Oh, okay. And then is that
That's
Barbara?
Peg.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
That's Peg and that's Barbara.
okay.
And of course that's Chuck and that's me.
Hmm.
This is a friend of ours. We kept track with forever, and suddenly about 3 years ago I didn't get a Christmas card, and I thought, oh dear, he's probably sick, but I couldn't find anybody that seemed to know. You know, he was up north, and seemed to know whether he was still around or not. And I finally, Lala kept trying. Lala, my brother's first wife, she kept trying, and she finally found out he'd died. But I felt bad about that because I didn't know it.
That's sad. Look at that. That's really cute.
And that's Peg and Barb. We were
I like your bathing your suit.
somewhere at one of the lakes, I guess.
Yeah, there's that style's coming back in. They're
Yeah.
starting to sell bathing suits like that.
Mm-hmm.
Cute.
She was so.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen that picture before.
Mm-hmm. Chuck.
He's
This was,
cute.
our-
Look how cute.
Our first boxer.
Really? Look at
They,
him, Brandon.
they just tickled. They just loved each other.
Oh, look at that picture.
Yeah.
And so that's Chuck and Kathy?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I like that picture.
I like it
Good
too.
one.
And that's Barbara?
Mm-hmm.
And then that's Kathy. Okay. Yeah, they're cute. Oh, okay, here we go. I can tell Barbara.
Yeah.
And then Peggy.
I love that picture of Peg. It's a
Mm-hmm.
real good one.
That is a good one. I like this one too. I love her hairstyle there. I think it's
Yeah.
cute. Look at Chuck and his velour. It looks like a velour tux. I'm sure everyone was like, wow, look at you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was always nice because we did have a lot of proms.
Mm-hmm.
And we did wear long dresses and dress up. Mostly, especially at that time, our mothers had made them. And
Uh-huh.
but they were great, and we liked wearing them. And the boys would always come with a flower to put on either there or on your wrist or something,
Right.
you know. And they'd have a matching with one flower in their buttonhole.
We need to
Oh,
send
I
you some
tell ya.
pictures of Jamie's prom. He just had his prom.
Oh, that reminds me. Don't let me forget. I got something for him over there. I was going to mail it. Then when I knew you were coming, I thought I'll give it to you.
I like that picture.
His friends were. He's 92 now, and still driving for the Red Cross and stuff.
Nice.
They're a neat couple. We've known them for many, many, many years.
Are you in this picture? Oh, there you are. I
Yeah.
see you.
This was the crowd we ran around with when we were living in Marcellus. They're
Okay.
all from our church. That's our minister.
Oh, okay.
And we
That's like
we had little parties all the time and stuff together.
Is this one of the houses you tell me about, Ben?
You know, I
Yeah.
can't identify that house. I don't know what. I'm trying to think. Doesn't look. I can't identify it. This one I remember.
They're pretty. White country houses. I like those.
This is up the lake.
Okay.
This is down on the dock.
And then right here is a
Yeah.
same.
Mm-hmm.
And then look at, oh, y'all love boxers.
Oh, yeah.
Look at him sleeping.
It says pets are family too.
Look at that cutie.
Yeah. I liked Boston Terriers. They're so smart. You can teach them anything.
It's a lot of dog.
Yeah. And these are some of the varying weddings.
Oh, Chuck and Cheryl.
Yeah.
Okay, and this is,
My mother-in-law,
oh,
his Chuck's mother.
okay.
My great grandma.
Hmm?
My great grandma.
Yep,
Yeah.
there's Ben. There's Cassie. Look at Cassie in this
Great
picture.
grandma.
I know, I saw it.
No, just great. Just great for me.
Oh yeah, I was put. Okay, you're right.
Jamie's great.
Oh yeah. You're kind of fat on that one. He would go up and down in weight.
Oh yeah, is that when Peggy and Jack got married?
Maggie and Jack, yeah.
And this is Kathy and John.
Mm-hmm.
And Julie.
And of course, Barbara never married, so we don't have a picture of
Right.
her and her husband. Isn't this cute?
Yes.
Peg, that's and all of Peg's family.
Yeah.
Brett and Cassie.
Who's that?
Mm-hmm. Cute. That's before you wore glasses.
Only anybody wore glasses there.
It's probably second grade then.
It's really cute.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's so cute.
And who's the little redhead? Is that Thomas or
Oh, it's Logan, isn't it?
Logan?
Logan.
Logan.
Yeah, Logan has the
Just
red
look
hair.
at them. They're so
Yeah.
cute. That's a really good picture too.
In the sun, if like when he pictures of him out on his boat and stuff, it's real red.
Mm.
Oh, there's Julie with her
Mm-hmm.
mullet almost. Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. What were you gonna do? Choke him?
No, now I will.
This is down at the lake. One time.
Who was taller than you, Ben?
Right on down there.
Is that Brett?
Yeah, that's Brett.
Yeah, he turned out to be certainly the tallest, didn't he?
I think he's 6'4".
I think he was even taller than that.
Maybe.
Yeah.
6'6".
Thomas keeps growing. He's 24 now, and he's still growing.
Hmm.
I don't know when he's gonna quit. What? Family reunions.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them were down at the lake. We
Baby.
lived down there for, I don't know, what, 10, 11 years. So
Mm-hmm.
that's my favorite uncle. Uncle Jack. Really neat guy.
Let's see. Okay. There's Jack. I'm looking for Peggy. Oh, right there.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
This was the whole family. Well, all of us that could go. My mother-in-law paid for it, and she took us on a cruise.
Nice.
And this is from the cruise.
Mm-hmm.
There.
Okay.
That was St. Thomas, wasn't it?
Hmm?
Wasn't it St. Thomas? Isn't that where you went?
On the cruise.
It might have been. I'm not sure.
Mhm.
Can't remember. We
There's
went on a
the
lot,
Great
lot
Wall.
of cruises. Yeah, Barbara had to go there for business, and so she took me with her.
What a wonderful.
Wasn't that great?
Yes, I love it.
We were gone for 3 weeks, and oh, it was just great. This was in order to give their father a sort of an extra special birthday. they rented one of these. And
Nice.
Then it was hooked up with a train, and we went up and down, and we all had the back car.
Did you get to go on that, Ben? I can't see you. You were probably marining it up, huh?
And this was when he became a minister.
Nice. Look at Ben in his suit.
Yeah.
You see him?
Oh yeah.
So cute.
Were you my age back then?
No, who's old? You younger than you're older.
This is my in-laws' 50th.
Oh, okay.
There's family.
Look how young the girls look.
Yeah.
That was
I
good.
really
Just
didn't
gotta
smoke
pop
that. Somehow I thought I ought to. They tease us about this. My father-in-law had a bottle and I had a bottle. and we were laughing. And so they said, they're drunk again, you know.
I like your hat too.
Yeah, I like that too.
That was a good picture.
Oh, are you look at you.
Oh, well, I'm petting a lion. How about that?
Most people can't say
Barbara
that.
got the Knoxville Zoo called when she was at home one time with us, and they had found out she was there, and so they asked her if she would come up and help them with the lion that had just come in. It came in from the wild 2 weeks before this, and so he was still pretty wild. And so after they put him down, Mom says, Barbara said, "You want to pet the lion?" And I said, "Oh yeah." So I'm standing there, and I'm thinking to myself, if this lion twitches, I'm out that door.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah. See, the golden age is before us.
I like that a lot.
That was a good shot, yeah.
It's beautiful. You're really sweet. And he, look at him. Is that when he feeding you your cake on your wedding day?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow. You didn't mash it in her face or anything, did you?
No.
I bet I would be too. Oh, these are great. Oh, so you got this for your birthday.
Yeah. The kids put it together.
Oh, I love it. Do you have pictures scanned and stuff? Do you have a bunch of old pictures?
I got a lot of old pictures. I don't think I've ever scanned them. I got books like several, but they're way back, and in fact, I don't remember who some of them are. I can tell you some of them, but
my mom inherited my grandmother's pictures, which she had inherited some from her mother, and so it goes all the way back. And then Mom passed away, so I have all these pictures, and so there's a lot I don't know, but I have every intention of scanning them. I just haven't done it yet. Ben's pretty good. Yeah, all his pictures are scanned.
we didn't used to think about doing that.
We just thought when the house caught on fire, that's what you'd grab.
That was what Barbara did. The first time when she was living out there in California, the first time somebody knocked on her door and says, "You have to get out," the police went around so she grabbed the dogs, put them in the car, went back, grabbed something, and got in the car and went down to a friend of hers who had a place on the lake. And that was fine. Then she took a look to see what she'd gotten, and it was all photographs. She said, first thing she thought, I was grabbing those photographs.
That's what
And I said, most people wouldn't think of that.
Not me.
No, me
Kids,
either.
everybody out. No, I mean, that's what
Yeah.
I would think. I would be the person that would run downstairs and grab all the mementos.
So after that, she had a box that she put in exactly what should be kept, certain papers and stuff. So she could grab that and we all did. So she only got taken out twice.
Well, Peggy was telling us how close this last fire
It
was, too.
yeah. She could always see it up on the hill.
There's like a season of fires in California.
Hmm?
Because the dry air.
Oh yeah, they have a lot of fires.
And
But a lot of them are set too.
yeah, the arsenic.
Yeah.
Arsonists.
Why anybody thinks that's a good idea, I'll have no idea, but they picked up some kids who were setting fires.
Yeah, I don't know. Something's wrong. It's horrible.
Yeah. why they think that's the right thing to do, I don't know.
We are also gonna have, like we had for Shelby, a graduation, a get-together that evening, if you guys are available.
Okay,
You
let me
know how we had for Shelby
Yeah.
last year, when you got to be my Aunt Lorraine.
Yeah.
Adelaide's, what are they called? The
Sweet
sweet
Adelines.
Adelines. I always do that.
Yeah, I was with them for 18 years.
Well, if you find out that someone's recorded your concert, I would love to see it.
I don't think anybody was. I didn't see anybody doing it.
Well, just if you hear about it.
It was.
And if
it
you're
was
gonna have another one that's open to the public, let us know.
well, usually they fill up because we have that in the tell me where it was.
Auditorium or?
No. Where we had the concert the other night.
Yes.
He's as bad as I am. He doesn't know either. Anyway, it's in the chapel.
Okay,
Got
it.
And it's not as big, anywhere near as big as the pack as the other, when you have all the big things in there. But we pack them in for a concert. They really do.
Well, let us know if it would be a possibility for us to come see you, because I'd love
Although
to do
today
that.
I was asking people, well, did you enjoy the concert? And the first 4 I asked said, oh, I didn't go.
Aw.
So I don't know where they were because that was packed.
Yeah, we'd love to come see it.
Yeah. Thank you so much
Yeah,
for doing this.
Okay.
Really
I
enjoyed
feel
it.
like a celebrity.
You are a celebrity. You will be.
My
It might
whole
be play.
class.
Is it going to play for the class?
Oh,
All
I'm
right.
glad that the kids made that up for me. 'Cause
Oh.
that really does cover a lot.
It means a lot.
From the time I was born right on up until
Right.
just recently.
I tried to do something not quite that wonderful for my brother when my mom passed, with her pictures to try to, because she saved every newspaper article, every brochure, every, you know.
My mother-in-law saved all that stuff too, but I've got some, you know, but it doesn't really mean as much to me as it would have to her or to Chuck. He was an only child.
Oh, was he?
I went from an only child to one of 10.
Wow. Yeah, they do
There's a
things a
difference.
lot different.
Oh yeah. I keep feeling so sorry for his mother.
How many boys and girls?
7 boys and 3 girls.
Oh my
Wow.
goodness, that was rough for her, huh?
I don't know, she made it, did
Yeah. Did you guys live on a farm?
Yes, dairy farm, and
Oh,
we had a little grocery store besides.
so you're busy all the time.
Busy all the time.
I'm sure she was very thankful.
Yeah, to have so
Well,
many boys.
the extra labor that we made available because of that, yeah, we all had chores to do.
Yeah.
He didn't get to play around as much as I did. I didn't have to work.
Where did you grow up?
Meadville, Pennsylvania.
Was it very rural?
Yes. We had a 160-acre farm. So, kept busy.
But I got so, that one time when I realized how much he looked like my grandfather.
Yeah, you did.
And I thought, well, maybe that's why I
There's
first
certain
liked him.
features, like your nose.
I like
there's
my
certain
grandfather pretty well.
features. Good.
They called me Ruthie. That was Dutch translation, I guess.
Oh, okay.
Ruthie.
My mom was a Rodebush, so I could have been back in that same area where you're from.
Oh, okay. Oh.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Could be
Belva.
related.
wasn't- Her name was Belva, wasn't it?
Belva Rodebush.